Alright guys, welcome back to the shed annex small bedroom at front of house. That's what we're going to call this video, annex small bedroom front of the house. Right, I'll put the outside light on the shed, so I'll be putting that on this video. Also, what we're going to do is, as he treads on wires that he's not meant to tread on, we've got a new project. Thank you, Tony. Thank you very much. We've got a new project, and the project is, so I can get, I'm going to get this. Hold on. Float on. I'll just show you the paper. Where are we? Yes, the new project, and it is that. Actually, it's not that, because that's the B. The one I'm going to be doing is that one. This one is the Royal Canadian Air Force version. Operation Spotter, I won't even pronounce that, but it was Malta, 1942. That's where that comes from. So I'll be painting it roughly them colours, and we'll see how we go on. And what I'm going to do is, because I'm a complete amateur in this, I've not done anything like this since I was very, very young. So I'm really excited about it. I loved it then, and I know I'm going to love it now. Right, my few tips for you are, if you can, paint things while they're on the whatever that is. Paint them then. It'll be much easier painting them then than it will be fiddling around with them and all that. Because, I mean, if you was a professional at this, and if you did this every single day of the year or whatever, I suppose you'd feel proficient enough to assemble parts of it, then paint parts of it, and all that. Well, I really ain't. So I'm going to do bit by bit. What I'll do is, I'm going to get a bulldog clip, which is what that is, and I'm going to clip that to the board right in front of me, and that way I've got a clear view of what's going on. All right. Now I've already took 2 bits off, these bits, and after me telling you don't paint them on the thing, I'd already taken these off without thinking, oh Ed, why don't you paint them on there? It would be much bloody easier. Anyway, the tools I'll be using are half round file. Don't know if that really comes out on there. Half round file. Yep. A small round file. The obligatory pair of tweezers. A small pair of pincers. They're really for just clipping them off that, whatever that is. Tell me what that is. I don't know what that is. That's cool. What they're all put on already. A little knife, a little modelling knife with, it's not a new blade, but it's a sharp blade. And a pen. I don't know, but a pen. Now Tony kindly gave me a selection of brushes. You can better see this lot. A section of brushes, that's it. There you go. Also, I'm going to put them there. He gave me the proper modelling gluey putter on, which is that. It's called a Contactor Professional. It's a glue stick. And of course, no point having paintbrushes if you ain't got paint. And we have got that one. I'm going to read these out. We have this one, which is Hell Blue. That's that one. We have the German Dunkel Green. That one. Can't you see the colours? See the colour on that? There you go. This one is Schwarzer Green. As they're German, I should say. Well, that's dark green. That's what it is. It's dark green. That one is Dunkel Green, is a kind of military green that you get. Gunmetal, no explanation needed there. Olive green, no introduction there. So a fair bit of green going on. And Africa brown, which is beige, like sandy brown. And they're the colours I've got to work with. So there we go. And that's what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks, I guess. I'm going to do it very slowly so you guys can see it bit by bit and process by process. And with a bit of luck, we'll have a completed model at the end of it, which roughly looks like a Spitfire. Right. Now, in saying that, I would really appreciate help. I've been looking at the model makers on YouTube and how they do things and how they put things together and all that. And it's easy watching them do that, but doing it yourself, it's another story, isn't it? It really is. So help. Any tips, any little guidelines you might have, very, very welcome. I think that's about it as far as the modelling goes. Yes, that's about it. I did promise you that I was going to put the outside light on. I've done the outside light for the front. I didn't film that. I did film the outside light that goes on the shed. The only difference is the outside light that goes on the shed was a new one. There wasn't one there before, so that's sort of a new fitment. The one that goes outside the front door, that was just a straight replacement. So the wires were already there. All I had to do was replace one for the other. Basic rules apply for that though, for any electrical job. Make sure it's turned off before you touch it. Just make sure you'll only do it once. If you do it twice, don't touch anything electrical again. But yeah, really, you'll only do it once. I've survived a 3-phase belt, and that tickled. Yes, don't touch electricity when it's live. It's not funny, it's not clever, and it's not big. Makes you look like a complete loon, actually. There you go. Right, so I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you the fitting of the garden one, because that's a fresh fitting. There weren't any wires there or anything like that, but wires there, and connected all up, and I'll show you that. So let's go to that then. Let's go. How we're doing, folks, is it's currently 4 degrees Celsius, or blast chuffing monkeys. Anyway, we're going to put up the outside light with PIR. Yeah. But before I put it up, there's a few things I've got to go over with you. First of all, they are easy peasy to set up. Look at that. You've got live and neutral and the earth. X you've not got to worry about because that's the PIR. On here it says, let me get this without ripping all the wires out. Can you see that? Up. There's a good reason for that. There's been a few people who put them at the top. They put these at the top for some reason, and the trouble is that the rain goes down inside them and just noises them up. so that's no good. Also, you will find in there's I don't know if you see it. Let me just put that over there. You can see there's a neutral and a live and the earth, and there's that little bit there, which is where I call them a chocolate box, connector block, where that goes. I've pre-drilled a hole in the wall in the shed. Just put that around there. It's going on the outside here, so I've pre-drilled a hole in the wall. I've got my wire. Now it's just, if you can wire a plug, you can put one of these up. It's as easy as that. It really is that easy. Right, what I need to do first is, I'm wearing gloves not because of any health and safety reason, it's just chuffing freezing. What I need to do first is get this rubber grommet out. There's a rubber grommet there, and it's so cold. There we go. There we go. Got that rubber grommet out. Now rubber grommet there is for the wire to go through. Now there is, to stop water getting in, water ingress as they say, there's a rubber washer going around the outside of this plate. That's stop any water ingress. Such a great word, ingress. Right, what I want to tell you before I put it all on as well is that either side of the, this is a pain in the arse, isn't it? Either side of the PIR unit, which is that, there is, let me see it, see that one there? That is for the brightness, and on the other side you've got one, and I think that's for the length of, yeah, that's the time one, that's for the length of time that the light stays on. And what you do is, once you've put them on your wall and you've got it all wired up and plumbed in and whatever, you can adjust your PIR to suit your needs, because obviously you don't want these coming on when a spider walks across the thing or anything like that. These kits come with the screws and the raw plugs and all of that old palaver, so that's jolly handy. They're usually, and I want to say they're usually shit screws. I mean, let me just put these to one side. There. Like I said, these are usually shit screws. They are, we call them monkey metal because they're soft. I don't know what that's got to do with monkeys, but anyway, it's soft. They are soft, cheap shit screws, and as soon as you put any pressure on them, they round off, or they're just no good. So I'm not going to use them screws. I'm going to use other screws, which I must say I've not got out yet. So that was shit, wasn't it? Normally, if you're going to put wire through any hole in a wall or gap like that, normally you'd put a piece of tape around the edge, just to stop all the wires fraying and doing all that. This is normal household wire. If you want to get an electrician to do it, but like I said, if you can wire a plug, you can wire this up, because everything is so easy. It's all laid out, it's all labelled, everything is in there. It's really easy. I'm quite impressed actually. Right, here we go. Fits, that should fit. a bit tight, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a drill through that. Step there. Right. That's that. Not a very good camera angle, but there you go. That's life. To fit this onto the wall, I'm just using inch self-screwing screws. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Right. Don't drop your screwdriver. Where's it gone? Right. As I said, it's child's play almost. Through there. And it's going to go on there. Put it as high as I possibly can on things. So put it as high as you possibly can on the wood, so that the wire is coming through centrally at the back of the device. One thing you have got to make sure, I'm just going to make sure that it's level. So make sure that's nice and straight. And you go for it. Right. Them screws ain't long enough. What I wasn't counting on, going through that bit and then into that bit, so I need longer screws. Right, note to self, and a tip for the others: make sure you get the screw size right before you start doing any screwing. Right, if you can, get one screw in first, that'll make it easier to get the other screw in. What I didn't say was, I'll show you in a minute, screw, that's up there, right. What I didn't say was, always bear in mind as well that when you're screwing into the wood, if there's glass next to it, if there's glass next to the wood that you're screwing into, just bear in mind how far across into the wood the glass goes, otherwise you're going to break the glass. Like here, where am I? Here, the glass goes into the wood about up to about there. You can't really see it, but it's about an inch into this wood. So you have to bear that in mind. Right, it's on now. Let's get some wiring up done. Let's undo these. Sorry, got my back to you, haven't I? Right. And like I said, it's like wiring a plug. Let's come around the other side. Yeah, better. Obviously, don't plug the end of the wiring first. Obviously, always have it turned off, unplugged at the very least. If you're working on wires, always have it unplugged at the mains when you're working on wires. Live with the brown wire. See on here as well, you can just follow the colours that they've already got, which is bloody handy. Sometimes you'll get electric stuff in from abroad, like cheap shit from China, and there'll be different bloody colours, or they'll all be the same colour. You've got to watch out for that. Or, although it says live, earth and neutral, they'd have got, whoever put the wires in wouldn't have them the right way round. So just watch what you're doing. Like I said, if you're not sure, just get somebody who does know what they're doing. And like I said, I'm not wearing gloves because it's electric. I mean, I'm wearing gloves because it's bloody freezing. Well, not freezing, but it's 2 degrees, 3 degrees, or whatever it is. Now, normally the insulation, the rubber insulation, the grommet and all that's very important because these are designed to go outside. But in this case, you can just about see there's a canopy over me, and that canopy is there all the time. So this isn't going to get really that wet, and this should never actually touch the or get touched by water. So, you know, although I'm putting the rubber grommets on and I'm putting all the rubber on, it's not really that important in this case. Let's put that on there. Now, when you've done that, you can pass what you've got through there. Make sure all your electrics are going in there. On here there is 2, I call them castle nuts. Don't drop the washers, Ed. Right, they're fiddly bloody nuts, so don't drop the washers or the nuts with them. I think they're they're M5s, I think, the nuts, and these bloody fiddly. Take my glove off. Make sure the washer's on properly. You could, if you wanted to, put a blob of grease or silicone around that to make sure it's on. Make sure all the wires are inside. the rubber washer just won't stay in one piece. Right, here we go. Let's bung the bloody thing on. Let's bung it on. Line up the still not happy, there's still too much wire behind. Thread that back in there. That's it. Right, come on. There we go. Alright. Behind the captive nuts, there's no backing to them. As I'm pushing that on, it's pushing that through. So cheap shit from China. Right, so get your screwdriver, put it behind. Get one on. Jeez, my hands are cold. That's one. Get the other one on. Oh. Excuse me when I turn my back on you. That's it. Let's see that come out then. Cold. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little socket and just wind them on by hand. Socket that big, so little socket. That pretty small. What size is that? What size do you reckon that is? Right. Years and years ago, I bought a really cheap socket set. But the advantage is it's got really tiny sockets in it. It's going to be I'll try a 6. No. Try a 7. Yeah, a 7mm. There you go. A 7mm socket. Right, like I say, just wind that on by hand. They're so tiny. Yeah, on. They're so tiny that you'll strip the thread if you go on too hard with them. So I wouldn't put a ratchet on it. Just do it up by hand. And that's basically it. Let's plug it in. Plug that one. Unplug the radio. Should be it. Should be on. Should be on. Just check the fuse in the plug. Come back to you. Right. It was an old plug, old fuse, and the fuse had blown. New fuse. Let's turn it on. There we go. So that's done now. So what I'll do now is that screw either side there will determine how long it comes on for and how long it goes off for. That is the brightness of it. So there you go. That bit, and the other bit is how long it stays on for. But I'll play with these later. It will stay on now. Obviously it will stay on now because I'm walking in and out in front of it. But there you go. That's how easy it is to put the lamp and the PIR on it. Happy days. Catch you guys later. Right, hopefully that's I've put that in this video. So you've seen the first bit, you saw the middle bit, and this is the end bit. So nearly over, nearly done. Thanks for watching, and should I just do what I all do? Just say, oh, please subscribe, hit the like button and all that old cobblers. You do what you want to do. If you want to do that, do that. I'd be more than happy for you to subscribe because I like knowing you're there. How about that? Is that good? Yeah. But yeah. Thanks for watching. Next week we are going to do a bit more of the model. I've not done none today. I've just unwrapped it. Here it is, unwrapped. I've sussed it all out. I've got my tools. I've got my paints. I've been on YouTube. I've had a few tips and pointers. And by next week you'll see some bits painted and assembled and all that jazz. Hopefully you'll see me doing a bit as well, just to make sure that you know that it's me doing it and not somebody else coming in here who's a ringer, so to speak. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. I'll see you next week. Hopefully we can keep this going over the weeks, and yeah, bonjour, au revoir, what happened? Oh, the reason we're doing this indoors is because outside is 2 inches of snow. It's not a lot, but it's enough for me. I'll see you later. Ciao.